Hello, all you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of The Orb. Tonight, we are on round 4, old school main event for Lobstercon, held in Boston pretty much every year. And as always, here are a few photos from the largest old school gathering in the world. Round 4, we have Will facing Mr.J. So we better take a look at what they're on tonight. And here's a look at Will's deck. He is on the deck. Swords, Disenchants, 1 Divine Offering, all the good restricted cards, counter spells. He is running 2 Lightning Bolts and 1 Fireball to help clear the way. And he also opts to use 1 Mirror Universe. He also has 1 Abyss to take care of all those pesky colored creatures. Gotta love the Chaos Orb with the Boonie hat on it. And then his sideboard is packed with Sarah Angels, extra artifact removal, 1 Healing Salve, top tier for the extra Healing Salve, Red Elemental Blast, a few Blue Elemental Blasts, an Abyss, and 2 extra lands. Gotta love the extra mana sources in the sideboard. I think that's a top tier move. So, Will's firing on the deck. Let's take a look at Mr. J's deck. And here's a look at Mr. J's deck. Not quite blue-white skies. He's running Dibs and Sarah's, but he's also running a playset of Suchis, a bunch of the restricted cards, 4 Psionic Blasts just to blow up anything in his way, or deal the last bit of damage that needs to be done. I love these Swords to Plowshares. If you can zoom in and check those things out. They are sick looking altars, playset of counterspells, and then just a few things to trade back and forth with your opponent, Divine Offerings and Disenchants. So nice well-rounded deck, still very aggressive, especially for being blue and white. He wants to pump out those Dibs, Suchis, and start punching his opponent in the face. His sideboard's full of Artifact Hate, 3 Energy Flux, a couple extra Disenchants, Blue Elemental Blasts, looks like 2 Maze of Ith, 2 Control Magic, and 3 different Circle of Protections. So, again, very well-rounded deck. This should be a great battle. Off to the games we go. So, Will won the cannoli stuffing competition. He will be on the play. Mr. J is going to be on the draw. And he has to take a mulligan, starting with 6 in hand. Will fires off a Tundra, followed by an Ancestral Recall. Not a bad start. Oh, 2 Moxen, Ruby, and a Pearl. He taps those 2 Moxen to throw down a Fellwar Stone, so what a crazy turn 1 ramp into. Has 4 mana sources on the board. Mr. J's on the play here. Starts with a Jet, drops into a Soul Ring. Plays out a Tundra. And just a pass back to Will. Will's slamming down a Black Lotus. Chucks it in the bin. Demonic Tutor. Yeah, he's got a hold of a bunch of the good cards. Should still have 1 black floating there. And there's a Mind Twist for the hand. Mr. J fires off a Disenchant to the Fellwar Stone, drops to 19 for mana burn, and top decks a Suchi. Not a bad crackback. Though he doesn't have a hand left. Will's losing 1 to the City of Brass. Playing out a Time Walk, though. And a Divine Offering on the Suchi. Will's going to run up to 23. And Mr. J is dropping to 15. Suchi damage is real. Will drops to 22. And fires out a book. That book's a real pain in the ass here. He's going to be drawing extra cards, and a lot of them with that James Day Tome. Mr. J finds a Chaos Orb. Man, I think you want to throw everything you have at that book to keep the card advantage low. Yep, activation, and Will says no thank you. Fires a disenchant on the Chaos Orb. This looks a little painful here. Mr.J comes up with a dib, and Will says no thank you again. Counterspell. I think Will's back down to 21 from tapping that City of Brass a few times. Yeah, Book's getting some work done. Draws its first extra card. That is tough. Once you have no hand and you're just waiting on top decks, it doesn't feel too great. Especially when you're going against the deck. Taps 2, drops to 20. Regrowth, Ancestral Recall. He plays his second Ancestral Recall for the game. Rips another 3 cards. Plays a Tundra. Quick draw go from Mr. J. Will is still ramping in mana. Drawing with the book again. And just a pass. Firing off a balance and letting it hit would be huge about now. Mr. J still needs to deal with that book. And I think Will's just on cruise control. He's doing about 90 in the fast lane. Will ripping even more cards. Finds a factory. That is a win condition. Looks like he's going to tap 4, drop to 19, and play out an Abyss. It's not good for those colored creatures. And Will draw in another card from the book. He's just sitting and reading that thing all day long. So first factory's coming in. Will does have backup factory on the board too. Pumps it. He's going to run back up to 22 as Mr. J swords out that factory. Looks like Will had to discard a balance. Don't think he needs that, how far ahead he is. He finds a Soul Ring and another City of Brass. Mr. J, looks like he just top decked a Sarah Angel. Normally that would be great, but that Abyss is going to eat that thing alive. Yeah, here comes the Sarah. And Sarah's back in the hand. I think they took a look at the Abyss and decided not to play that. Will plays down another book. Insult to injury here. Looks like Will's already eaten through about half of his deck. Drawing with one book. And take a point, drop to 21, draw again with the book, so he's up to 3 cards. And Will says, I do have an answer for that Abyss. Let's get that thing out of here. Disenchant. See if Mr. J's disenchant sticks. can't see much, but it looks like Will has at least one counterspell in hand. Yeah. Lose 2 life, drop to 19, and counterspell that disenchant. So it looks like the Abyss is staying, and he doesn't have another disenchant. Yeah, just a pass back to Will. That is tough. Will finds a Chaos Orb, slam dunks the Chaos Orb on the table. And it looks like he discards a disenchant. Will's been reading 2 books at once here. For some extra learning. They reconcile their life totals. And here comes the second book activation. So Will untaps all his resources. Oh, finds a Loa. Insult to injury again. I mean, Mr. J at this point just has to hope Will's going to deck himself. Yeah, Will taps just a butt ton of mana. Looks like he's getting back possibly a Mind Twist, Time Walk. I mean, this party's all but over. Here comes the Mind Twist. Looks like Will's dropping down to 9-ish. Mr. J's on 15, but loses his hand again. Will taps his cities. Oh, takes a mana burn, dropping a 4. And there's the fireball for the game. Game number 1. Unfortunately, Will was in the driver's seat the whole time. Opted to not get out and just took the game down. So these two will swap out some cards and we'll move on to game number 2. So here we go with game number 2. Mr. J is on the play. We'll be taking the draw. They both have keepers. Mr. J fires down a Loa. Hell of a start. Can't activate it first turn. Will fires down a city, Ruby, and a Sapphire. Loa turning sideways for that extra card draw. Mr. J fires down a factory and passes with 7. Solid start. He needs to come back. And that extra card advantage is one hell of a way to do it. So now he's up to 2 cards off the Loa. Plays down a Tundra and a Jet and passes with 7. We'll find some more land and send his factory in. Mr.J tries to offer a blocker with his own factory, but looks like it takes a Divine Offering to the face. No lives gained, but Mr.J loses 2 to that factory coming in. Drops him to 18. Will still on 20 life. So again, that low is doing some work. Mr.J has to throw a balance in the bin. Sitting on 8 cards. I think he wants to keep some counter magic up. Will's showing up with another factory, sending the team in. Factory workers abound. Punching in here for 3. Mr. J's got an answer. Psyblast. And Will's got a red Elemental Blast to answer that shit right back. Psyblast denied. Factory's pounding for 3. Mr. J drops to 15. Mr. J's dropping out of factory. Avid blocker here in another turn and passes back to Will. Will's drawn up to 4 cards in hand. Taps 2 for a Felwar Stone. Still ramping there. Oh, but there's a mana drain. And Will says no thank you, counterspell. Sends the factories in again. Yeah, that factory still has Summoning Sickness, so he is not blocking. I think Mr. J drops down to 12 with that attack. Will is tapped out, so he's free to play. Mr. J's free to play out anything he wants here. Still have his grip full of cards. Ancestral, even more cards coming to him. Wow. Card advantage all his way. Mr. J's moved discard, drops a Sarah Angel in the bin. Says I don't need this card. Will's tapping a shit ton and slams down a Sarah Angel in his own. Mr. J's got a counter spell for that. Says get that shit on out of here. And just a pass back. Mr. J slams down a Dib. Serendib's always a solid worker. Will's tapping everything up again, and Mr. J slams down a counterspell before it can even show up. It was a Sarah Angel. Counter's real, and Will throws out an Ancestral in response to that counterspell. Draws 3. Finds a Soul Ring and finds a Swords to Plowshares. And Mr. J's running back up to 15. Dib's removed from the game, never to be seen again. And we can kind of see his hand. I mean, he just rips another dib off the top. Finds the second factory. Taps a low, not to draw with, but to slam down another dib. Maybe off the low plan, sending a factory in. Will's taking 2 to the face. I think he's dropped to about 14. Take a look through each other's, well, through Mr. J's graveyard. Will's tapping 2. One's a City of Brass for Demonic Tutor. He's gonna go pick out his favorite fucking card in the deck. And look at this balance. Balance here to reclaim all those extra cards drawn. Will's losing, looks like 1 land, 1 creature. He's going to go ahead and play some stuff out of his hand. I mean, might as well at this point. Oh, look at that. Just pitching the whole hand in the bin. Wow. It's like the mind twist from the other side. But it's a balance. We'll send in a factory in. See if they trade. Yeah, activate, trade, block, pump, pump. Each of them lose a factory. They both have 1 on the table. Life totals are pretty close to being the same. Neither of them have any cards left, so top decking mode it is. Will's dropping to 11. That pushing from the factory. And he decides to leave his back open for blocking. Comes a factory again, and there's a Psyblast for it. Mr. J drops to 13, but his factory pumps in, drops Will down to 9. This game is getting very close. Oh, Sarah Angel. Wow, what a heavy hitter. That bitch is tough to deal with. Especially this late in the game. Sarah swings in with her broadsword, strikes Mr. J in the forehead, and he drops to 9. He's taking a look through Will's graveyard, doesn't find anything. Oh, Sarah Angel in again, drops to 5. It's 5 to 9. Something needs to happen in a hurry. There's a dib. And it's a dib, but it's probably mere cannon fodder at this point. That sword-wielding Sarah Angel. Oh, this is tough. Yep, stabs the dib right in the face. Mr. J is still sitting on 5. A couple cards in hand. Draws what looks like is a blue elemental blast. Sarah Angel punishing him right down to 1 life. Mr. J's tapping a lot of resources there. Uh-oh. Plays out an island. 5 is tapped. Sarah Angel. A little Sarah on Sarah action. Oh, but there's a swords. Sarah's out of the game. Mr. J runs up to 5 life. And now right back down to 1. And there's a time walk. That's going to finish out game number 2. Will takes it 2-0 on the deck. Tough beats, but good games. As always, thanks for watching The Orb.